All right. Welcome, everybody, to another deep dive. Today, we are tackling a topic that is absolutely crucial in any industry, but we're looking at it through the lens of Canadian construction.
Sounds fascinating.
It is. We're going to be digging into workforce development and retention based on some really interesting Gold Seal certification training materials.
I'm all ears.
When people think of construction, they think hard hats, steel-toed boots, maybe a crane or two. But what often gets overlooked is the human element, the skilled workers, who are really the foundation of every successful project.
Absolutely, it's all about the people.
And it's not just about finding those skilled workers, but keeping them, nurturing their talent, and making sure they're set up for success. And that's where these Gold Seal certification materials come in.
So are they basically a guidebook on how to build a strong workforce?
That's a great way to put it. They really emphasize the importance of developing and retaining staff, not just for the benefit of individual companies, but for the health of the entire construction industry.
That makes a lot of sense. After all, a rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Exactly. Now, what I found really interesting is how Gold Seal certification ties this whole idea of workforce development back to leadership and management.
Oh, how so?
Well, their materials emphasize that strong leadership and management skills are the bedrock of a thriving workforce. Because without good leaders, you can't effectively recruit, train, motivate, or retain your people. It's like trying to build a house without a solid foundation. It's just not going to work.
That's a great analogy. You need a skilled foreman to guide the crew and make sure everyone is working together towards a common goal.
Exactly. So let's dig into some of the specific activities that Gold Seal certification highlights when it comes to actually developing and retaining staff. They talk about recruitment, training, performance management, employee engagement, and even succession planning.
Wow, that's a pretty comprehensive approach.
It is. It's like they've created a blueprint, not just for building a structure, but for building a high-performing team.
So it's about investing in your people for the long haul, not just filling positions, but creating a culture of growth and development.
Right. And they go into detail about each of these areas. For example, they emphasize the importance of thorough onboarding processes for new hires, making sure they feel welcome and equipped to succeed right from the start.
It's like, you don't just hand someone a hammer and say, go build that wall.
Exactly. You got to give them the right tools, training, and support to do their best work. And when it comes to training, they emphasize the importance of ongoing professional development, keeping skills sharp and knowledge up to date.
It makes sense. The construction industry is constantly evolving with new technologies and methods. Ongoing training is essential for staying competitive.
Exactly. And then there's performance management, which is all about providing regular feedback, recognizing achievements, and addressing any areas where improvement is needed.
So it's like that regular inspection you do during construction to make sure everything is up to code and structurally sound.
Exactly. It's about catching any potential issues early on and ensuring that everyone is meeting the required standards.
And of course, keeping those workers engaged and motivated is critical. Nobody wants to work on a project where they feel like just another cog in the machine.
I agree. When people feel valued and appreciated, they're more likely to stay with a company and contribute their best effort.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about succession planning, which ensures a smooth transition of knowledge and leadership when experienced workers retire or move on.
I was going to say, it's like they're saying, hey, we need to make sure that when the master carpenter hangs up his tool belt, there's someone skilled and ready to take over.
It's about building a legacy, passing on the knowledge and skills to the next generation.
So speaking of knowledge and skills, our source materials also mention the importance of CCDC documents, specifically CCDC 11-2019. You ever worked with those before?
Oh, absolutely. They're like the industry Bible when it comes to defining roles, responsibilities, and expectations. Think of them like those super detailed instruction manuals you get with a new gadget. Except in this case, the gadget is a construction project, and the manual ensures everyone knows how to operate it smoothly.
So how does CCDC 11-2019 actually play a role in developing skilled workers? I gotta admit, that part wasn't totally clear to me from the Gold Seal materials.
Well, for one thing, it helps to ensure that everyone working on a project is qualified and competent. For example, CCDC 11-2019 requires project superintendents to demonstrate a thorough understanding of safety regulations, project scheduling, and quality control procedures.
So it's kind of like a quality control check for the people in charge.
That's a good way to put it. It's all about having a standardized way to assess and verify skills. That way, you know that anyone holding a certain certification meets those industry standards.
I see. So it's not just about individual companies training their employees, but about having a system in place that ensures consistency and quality across the entire industry.
Precisely. And that focus on consistency really shines through in those key roles we talked about earlier, project superintendents and project managers. Having that standardized approach means that anyone stepping into those roles has the necessary skills and knowledge to hit the ground running.
I can see how that would benefit everyone involved. Companies can be confident they're hiring qualified individuals, workers can be confident they're receiving quality training, and ultimately it leads to better projects and a stronger industry. It's amazing how all of these elements connect.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the benefits extend even further, impacting things like worker morale, productivity, and even a company's reputation.
How so?
Think about it. When companies invest in their employees, it shows that they value their contributions and are committed to their growth. This can lead to increased job satisfaction, lower turnover rates, and a more positive and collaborative work environment.
It's like creating a virtuous cycle where everyone benefits.
Exactly. And from a business perspective, a company that's known for developing and retaining its talent will have a competitive edge when it comes to attracting top talent and winning bids for those big projects.
It's a win-win situation all around. It's not just about bricks and mortar. It's about building something much bigger and more lasting, a culture of excellence.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So to our listeners out there, even if you're not planning on building a skyscraper anytime soon, think about how you can apply these principles to your own work or personal life. Maybe it's finally taking that online course you've been eyeing, or offering to mentor a colleague.
Or even just making an effort to recognize someone's hard work and give them a little encouragement.
Exactly. It's all about investing in yourself and those around you. Thanks for joining us on this fascinating deep dive into the world of workforce development and retention.
Until next time.
Keep on learning and keep on building.